Hi, my name is Katie Brunner, and for my last grad mini project, I'm going to be presenting research titled Deconstructing Project Management, a Gender Analysis of Project Management Guidelines, published by Pamela Buckle and Janice Thomas in the International Journal of Project Management in 2003. Now, research according to Cartwright and Gale in the Leadership and Organizational Development Journal of 1995 argues that project management is confronting a growing need to manage expectations, relationships, and trust. Trends toward accepting the quote-unquote softer side of project management leads us to questions regarding femininity and masculinity in the context of project management. They argue that both men and women need to understand the differences inherent to feminine and masculine modes of project management and recognize the strengths of both. So this research tries to deconstruct the important socialization document produced by the Project Management Institute, which we read about in Haney's book. And they want to illuminate the assumptions and the implications in this field. So what we're going to do is first, we're going to review the theory of isomorphism as the lens that they use to look at deconstruction. Second, we'll look briefly at the gendered modes of communication. Third, discuss deconstruction as a method of research. And fourth, discuss some findings from their preliminary textual analysis. So first, looking at isomorphism. This has many definitions, but in the context that they use it, it's defined as the process in which individuals in widely varying corporate environments tend to think and behave in similar ways. Now, the Project Management Institute is the predominant professional association for project managers. This promotes standards, research, training, and education. And they produced the document called the Project Management Body of Knowledge, or the PMBOK, which again was mentioned in Haney in the beginning of this class. And this body of knowledge identifies the generally accepted common language, common standards, and best practices for project managers. And looking at an exploration of this manual, the researchers are trying to reveal insights and assumptions about the work skills reflected in today's process and practice of project management. So second, they looked at gendered modes of communication, and these researchers argue that the dominance of masculinity, communication, and ideals are still really prevalent in workplaces, even though the dominance of male versus female project managers isn't quite as inherent. So they talk about how much of feminine or soft work, such as team building and conflict resolution, is labeled as non-essential. And they say that both sexes are capable of both feminine and masculine gendered ways of thinking and project management. So we'll go over specifics of the gendered modes of communication in their research findings, but first we'll look at the methods that they used to find these. So looking at textual analysis and deconstruction. They define deconstruction as it suspends the taken for grantedness of language. And I included a funny graphic here just to show us a little bit about what that might mean. This is looking at words in a tweet and looking at the meaning behind them. They argue that a word is never just what it means, but what the meaning that people are trying to get at. So they talk about how deconstruction does not seek to criticize, only to question. And they used a qualitative tool called atlas.ti. And their research question that they're trying to garner is, are masculine and feminine logics evident in the PMBOK guide? So their results, as you can see, this looks a little bit more specifically at these gendered modes of communication. So this looks more specifically at masculine and feminine theoretical constructs, such as some masculine ones being that many project managers are independent, performance-oriented, and hierarchical, whereas feminine would be context-sensitive, dependent, improvisational, and non-linear. They look further into 4 different areas of research findings, one being defining projects and how the differences between those, conceiving what project management is, the role of project managers, and finally, defining risk in project management. So in conclusion, while the tendency of this text, as far as the researchers was concerned, was to label project management processes as either masculine or feminine, they argue that they can be both, and that both are strengths to be considered. So here are my references, and thanks for listening.